Jesus Christ, that is loud. Your light switch. Got your horn. Oh, scared the dog. Sorry. Sorry, buddy. Hey, what's up, guys? So today we're going to be working on our handlebar controls. Now this little puppy, I picked that up from the old interwebs, and I really like this design, but unfortunately it didn't come with any kind of a wiring diagram as what wire goes where. So we're going to take this apart, figure out which wire is connected to what, label the ends, and then we can continue working on our Supermoto. So this right here is where it's got to plug into. As you can see, that doesn't work right now. And then we'll lay out the wiring harness, hook up our headlight, hook up our turn signals, and then we'll go from there. But for now, let's go ahead and crack this open. Your high beam, your lights, and your horn. You know, we're going to go ahead and shrink wrap this. This is how it showed up. I got to slap her on back together here. This one goes on the bottom. In there, but before I get it all back together, I'd like to do an operational check. Okay, let's do some checks. All of our wires are labeled correctly, except for the this button right here. Don't really know what's going on with that guy, but you get the point. Now the reason I went with this style, I might as well just tell you here, is because this right here is identical to the Aprilia SXV, except for this button's a scroll button, but everything else is identical. Then you also have your little flasher button up there. So can't really go wrong with that. And now that we have it all figured out, ready to wire it to the bike. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves organized. Jesus Christ, that is loud. Okay, well, horn ground is taken care of. Okay, now we have our handlebar control wiring all done. We have our controls all the way down. This right here goes to the headlight. You have your low beam, high beam, and then your running lights if you choose to use those. And then you come down here, I put this plug on. These are my left and right turn signals. And this right here is everything else, all the controls. And this right here is a hot lead going to the common wire that powers everything else, like the horn. And then it just plugs right into this guy. This guy right here plugs into this guy, and then your turn signals plug into there. This right here goes to your front brake switch. Then you have a relay. Our on-off switch is still plugged into itself. I am going to put an on-off switch on there eventually. And you have your horn, and then your turn signals. And you follow all the way down here, and then you have your rear brake switch. This right here goes to the tail light assembly and turn signals, and then this right here goes to the battery. Alright, let's hook up some juice and see what we got. Okay, I went ahead and plugged in the handlebar controls. I'm not going to hook up the tail light or headlight quite yet because I figure you guys get the point. But right here you have your light switch, got your horn. Oh, scared the dog, sorry buddy. Then you have your left and right turn signals. Now it's important to get an LED turn signal relay if you plan on using LED lights. Alright, well this thing's ready to go inside the bike. Let's get started. Alright guys, we got the wiring harness installed. So what I did was I went through the bottom of the battery, the air box, not the battery box. And then here's the taillight wiring coming out, and this right here goes to the battery. So the taillight wiring is going to connect roughly about right here where the wires come out of the hole that we made in that rear fender. So then I routed it down through the bottom of the air box, then right over to the subframe, zip tied it here, ran it up, and followed the stator wire. I don't know if you can see that very well. But I followed the stator wire and then started zip tying it in a tight little bundle. And I tried getting it as close and as tight as I could to the natural wiring for the motorcycle because the gas tank takes up most of this room right here. I had to move the rectifier over to the side, just kind of kicked it over because I rerouted this wire. Instead of going this way, I went back to the OEM direction for that wire. So, taking all these wires and everything, I routed them all the way back up. And I removed my radiator because we're going to end up cutting this hose right here and putting in our temperature sensor. But routed these wires all the way back up, zip tying as we went, trying to bundle them up. And then this is where our wire mess ended up. So I bundled them as tight as I could. And right here we have our turn signal ground and our 2 lead wires. We have our headlight wiring. We still have our kill switch wiring right here. Or on-off switch, I should say. We do have a kill switch still mounted up on this bike. We'll end up taking that off as soon as we get that on-off switch taken care of. And then this right here is for the horn. I'm still deciding whether or not I want to route the horn, mount it like over here next to the triple clamp or underneath of the dashboard. But first and foremost, what's really important is do not allow your control cables to get involved in any of the zip ties or any of the wiring that you're doing because you need those to move freely. So the trick is to have it to where you can go full knock to full knock without any like binding, pinching, or anything like that. This bundle will move a little bit, but fortunately our headlight mask has enough room to, you know, supply it with some free play in there. So let's go ahead and fit up that headlight mask. Alright, I decided to fit up the front end here and give you guys a little preview of what the headlight will look like. You also got your turn signals. And you got a horn. And the dashboard's reading out. Alright, well, I'm looking forward to getting this as a final install. Some of you may recognize this front end from another type of bike. It's taking a little bit of retrofitting, but we got it in there pretty tight. Just got to screw it down. And yeah, we're almost done.